Do you own your own business, or does it own you? If you're ready to take back control of your life, kick the crap out of your way, shorten your learning curve, design your own version of success, and claim your entrepreneurial freedom, then you're in the right place. This is Do Business on Your Own Terms with your host, Bob Holdsworth.
If it's Wednesday, this must be Do Business on Your Own Terms. Hi, I'm Bob Holdsworth. Today we're going to talk about kind of an important topic. What business are you really in? Often your perspective, your answer to that question can either expand your horizons or limit your success. Now, if you've been in business for any length of time, if you're even if you're just starting out, you've been told by conventional wisdom, you've been told by everybody to have an elevator pitch ready, have it ready at any time. Anytime somebody walks up to you and asks you a question about your business, have a predetermined, pre-practiced elevator pitch. Look at yourself in the mirror when you're doing it. Make sure your facial impressions and expressions are correct. Most of us, when we started out, diligently created this pre-planned spiel, and it was ready to regurgitate on command. If you're at a networking event, we answer the "so what do you do?" question with that pre-planned spiel, which is hard to do the second, third, and fourth time when some people were kind of listening. And if you have the same spiel every time, people automatically start to run away from you. But once you do that and you put that spiel out there, and once it's done, you kind of wait to see if they get it, if they want to engage with you, if they want more, or should we move on and verbally throw up on the next person? And everybody you say this to, when you answer that question, they ask you the question that way for a very particular reason. They want to pigeonhole you to fit their opinion, to fit their bias, their worldview. If you want to stand out and you want to be unique, which should be your goal, you need to disrupt their thought process and shake them up a bit when you answer, because then you'll stand out as unique in their mind because it wasn't the same old thing and it wasn't a regurgitated pitch and all of those things that make you different. So I would suggest to you that you have an elevator sentence, not a pitch, a sentence. Relatively short, but finely crafted so that it easily rolls off your tongue, but that it comes from the prospect side of the table, promising a benefit and inviting them to have the response, "Really? Tell me more about that." Or, "That's interesting. What do you mean by that?" You want to not give them the easy way out, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But you want to make sure that you don't give them the easy way out and let them pigeonhole you and then walk away going, "Yeah, I don't need that." So, a couple of oldies but goodies. What do you do is the question. "I'm in the insurance business," or "I'm an insurance agent." Run away. You're like, he's going to sell me something. Here we go. I'm not in the mood for insurance. I don't need any more insurance. I don't want to get into that discussion. So we have been pigeonholed. You are an insurance guy and nobody wants to talk to you at this point. Different way to phrase it. "I'm fortunate I get to help people pre-plan for bad days." Really? What do you mean by that? Well, there's a lot of ways, people have medical issues, long-term care issues, property casualty issues, health insurance benefits for their employees, for their staff, looking at risk to minimize risk on the buildings and the properties that they own. And there are a number of ways to do that. And we get creative and come up with customized solutions for our clients. "Oh, you're in the insurance business." By the time you're done, you've established a conversation. How do you've given them 4 or 5 things down the road, but the initial was not, "I'm an insurance business," and had the window rolled down and shut them off. It's, "I'm fortunate that I get to help people pre-plan for bad days." What business are you really in? Second example, what do you do? "I'm a business lawyer." Run faster. I'm a small business attorney, whatever. Another way to phrase it, to overcome that conversation and get that thing started, "I help business owners protect their companies and their assets." All right, so it could be insurance, could be a lawyer, could be a consultant, could be a whatever. Your job with one sentence is to get them to say, "Really, how do you do that?" Or, "Really, tell me more." My case, I could say, and used to say, I'm a small business coach. Everybody has their own view of coach, consultant, what have you. Now I answer the question, I help entrepreneurs structure their businesses to fit their lifestyle. Really? Tell me more. See what I mean? What business are you really in? And if it comes from the client's perspective, I want to pre-plan for bad days. I want to protect my company and my asset. I want to structure my business to fit my lifestyle. Those sentences come from the prospect side of the equation and invokes the conversation. For years, I taught a program entitled You're Only as Good as They Think You Are. It's a marketing, public relations program, and it was talking about image and perception and things like that. So for this particular, a slight retitling for this episode, You're Only What They Think You Are. So let's talk a little bit about that and some examples that you can use to take a look at your business and maybe look at it through a different lens from the outside looking in, which is probably more important than the inside looking out, looking for prospects. Go outside, look in as a prospect. What do they see? So your perception and their reality, what are the two? So some things that you notice when you walk in: image, the decor, the colors, the fonts on the signage, the readability of the signage, where you have located your company, what the entrance is or entrance to the company, to the business looks like. What do your waiting rooms look like? What business are you in? What mood are you trying to set when people come to visit you, if they come to visit you? The offerings, whether it's through brochures, whether it's through presentation, whether it's through website. What are the products? What are the services? What are the bundles? Again, from their perspective. And if you look through the website, through my website and at oyot.com, what you're going to find is my philosophies and the way in which I provide services. But if you read that content is all driven towards what I have been told by my clients that they are looking for. And over the years, what I have seen my clients come into the practice, the pain points. So in talking back and presenting myself, I present myself from what can I do for you, because it's all about you and your business and your freedom and doing business on your terms. It drives your marketing. What words do you use? What themes, what conversation do you have with your prospects and your clients? What methods do you use? Are your methods congruent and in sync with the people that you are attempting to market to? Are you in the right spot? Now, we talk about message to market match, but are you in the right spot, and are you using the right methods to position yourself in your perfect prospect's mind as the place that they want to do business, or the provider that they want to do business with? How have you positioned your pricing? And if those other things, if you are a high-priced product or service, you certainly can't be in a dingy office with ugly-looking products marketed poorly. You shouldn't be doing that anyway, but you just can't. The things don't make sense. They don't add up. So all of the things structure, and if you will, it's a well-choreographed play where the audience, the potential clients of yours, are coming in and you're setting the stage for how you want them to see you. And you should be setting the stage because you know your prospects and your clients well enough to set the stage, to set the mood so they understand it, they align with it, and they raise their hand and say, yes, I'm home. This is what I'm looking for. Yes, I want to talk. I want to do business with you.
If you really want entrepreneurial freedom and you want to be able to do business on your own terms, you have to start by taking action. A great place to start is by grabbing your complimentary copy of Bob's 8 Steps to Freedom. Go to oyot.com/8 steps and claim yours today.
Let's take a couple of examples. So example, a business I was in long time ago is the hospitality business, the restaurant business. And I wasn't in the high-end restaurant business, but I have worked with folks in that market space. If I go to the typical restaurateur or restaurant manager and say, what business are you in? They will say some version of, I'm in the restaurant business. I provide good food, good drinks, and good service. And I will say, how's business? Could be better. Yes. Can you expand your price points on that sales pitch? Arguably, no, you can't. Certain niches can do that. But for the most part, if you're a high-end or you want to be a high-end restaurant, you want to be one of the highest-end restaurants in your community, it has nothing, well, it has something to do with the food and the drink, but it has more to do with the ambiance and the experience. And I'll give you an example. You can go to a steakhouse and you can go to, for those of you who know, you can go to Steak and Shake, which will get you a good steak. You can go to Outback, that'll get you a good steak. You can go to Ruth Chris, which will get you a good steak. You can go to Morton's, or there are a number of other high-end steakhouses. You can go to Lowry's Steakhouse. Every single one of those, you can get a good steak from a cow that was committed to the process, all cooked medium rare, however you like yours, with appropriate sides. But you're going to choose which restaurant you go to based on what you want. If you want fast, a good steak, and you really are just kind of want to hang out with some friends and have a beer, Outback might be the choice. If you're taking a high-end business client out for dinner, Outback is not. You want to own the experience. If you want to be in the business of competing with Ruth Chris and Morton's and what have you, you've got to create an experience. If you go to any one of those, you're talking about very well-trained people, high-end, good quality chefs that are going to make the same product and deliver the same product every time. Morton's was built on the businessmen and women going into that restaurant and knowing no matter where they were in the country, if they walked into a Morton's, they knew what the experience was going to be. And Morton's made sure that they got that every single time. If I take my wife out for dinner, I want to go to a nice restaurant. It is about the experience that you create for me, not throwing a slab of beef on the table and bringing me a good Tito's and tonic. It's about the experience and making my wife and I feel special and seeing if there's an event planned and playing into that so that we feel like we're part of it. So it is all about what business are you really in. In the restaurant business, especially the high-end piece of the restaurant business, it is all about owning that experience, creating that experience, and consistently delivering that experience. And then working to duplicate that over and over and over again. People make the same mistake, about giving a coupon. They make a mistake and they want to give people a free dessert. People don't want the free dessert. What they want is the good service. So working through that and crafting that is what business you're really in. You go to McDonald's, different experience. What do we really want? I want to shove something down my throat in 3 minutes to stave off hunger until I can get home. And I want it to, be reasonably priced. So there, it's all about speed. If you don't deliver speed, I'm not coming back. Let's take another example. Dentist. Right? Dentists, this works for chiropractors. It works for a lot of folks. What does the office setting say? Am I coming into something that is well-defined, or am I coming into a very sparse waiting room? What is the attire of the staff? Are they dressed like medical professionals? Are they dressed in whatever they choose to dress in that day? Do they all look alike? What are the greetings? There's the walk up and slide the glass and say, okay, who are you? Give me your card. Here's your copay before you've done anything, and fill out this form. Or there's, you must be Mr. Holdsworth. You're here for your 9 o'clock with Sue, which is, in my case, going to the dentist. It's, hi, Bob. Sue will be with you in a couple of moments. We'll take care of things on the way out. Why don't you make yourself comfortable for a minute and try to get everybody relaxed and calm about the procedure, because they are competent. They know who I am. They know why I'm there. And they've set that tone in that experience. What business are they in the dentist environment? They're about taking care of my teeth, yes. But in this case, they're also about making sure that I'm comfortable, making sure that the anxiety level is down, making sure that they discuss health-related issues concerning the care of my teeth, and making sure that I'm not a number and that they own that experience. A business that I worked with not too long ago, massage therapist. People get up in the morning and say, I think I want a massage, but they really don't want a massage. Especially from what we learned in some of the research, especially women. They don't just say they want a massage. They're going to the massage therapist because they either have pain, because they just want to relax and not have to think about all the other things in their life. And the same holds true for guys. But the research was that more women were going for massagers than guys for this particular practice. And they all came in, they all had a pain. They all had a problem area that they wanted to work in. But the things that were most important that was able to carve out the experience for them was that they felt comfortable and safe. So the environment that you put that building in is not next to necessarily a package store and off-track betting, because nobody's going to come upstairs and kind of want to relax and then have to figure out whether they can safely get to their car on the way back out. So is it comfortable and safe? Was it warm and inviting? Temperature played a big role all the way through. The ability for them to, something simple, hang up clothes rather than drape them over a chair because they had to look their best when they were leaving. The perception of pampering. So would you like some herbal tea? Would you like some water? Would you like to relax for a little bit? Having a bathrobe that they could change into, having a serenity room or quiet room first, rather than sitting there in the sweatshirt that you came in, going in, stripping down, getting on the table. Okay, thanks a lot. Get up and leave. That sets a completely different tone. So what business are they in? They're in the business of relaxation, pampering, and giving yourself the ability to forget about everything and unplug for an hour. Reminding them to make sure, did you shut your phone off? Did you put it on ring? You don't want to be disturbed, etc. The thing that drives me crazy at the end of a massage is when they start to do a sales pitch. And a couple of them, a couple of the national chains are notorious for this. Ruins the entire thing. Because at the end of it, I feel relaxed. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go back to work, or I'm going to go home, or I'm going to do whatever. And then it's like, okay, so let me tell you what we found, and let me tell you about these 3 products you need to buy to, bolster my sales commission. Doesn't work. As opposed to, we found some issues. I used these 2 products on you, which is what you smell or what you use. Here is a small sample with some instructions for how to use this at home between today and our next visit. So on your way out, why don't you schedule your next visit? Because every couple of weeks would probably work on that particular issue for you. And I wanted to give you a sample as a thank you that, will help you continue the care that we've started. Big difference. And I would be much more likely to come back and go, I used that and I followed the instructions. How do I get that? And I want to buy some when I leave next time. So again, what business are you in? The more you do this and the more you think from the customer side, the more you can look at how you're going to arrange things. What are your processes in the business? How are you going to greet folks? What software you may or may not need to remind people of appointments and things like that, to capture data, to remember important events for the restaurant business, to get people to come back in. If you're going to do some kind of a coupon or something along those lines, or some kind of a special, send it to the person's address, send them an invitation. Try to get them into coming in with other people, because if you encourage them to come back the next time rather than giving them something for free for this particular event, then that brings them back in, and they're more likely to bring friends if they had a good experience. So now the table for 2 becomes a table for 4. The table for 4 becomes 6, and you grow your business that way based on building it that way. So some things to think about. What business are you in? Do you want to have customers? Do you want to have clients? Do you want to have guests? And I have clients that are in the healthcare space that have customers and they do transactions, and they're always looking for new folks. They're always looking to increase their sales because people keep leaving. Patients keep moving off to other practices. And no matter what we've talked about, they won't do it. So they are, I should say, former clients. Clients tend to stay longer. If you start looking at your folks as coming into your business as clients or as guests, that changes the way you treat them. It changes the way you treat them, puts them in a different mindset, creates a different experience, and actually matches closely to what business they think you're in. So I hope this has been helpful. Hope you've got some takeaways. If you've got questions or comments, by all means, go to the website, oyot.com, reach out. Happy to talk about it. Join us next week. We're going to be talking about how to hit the reset button. So if business is a little bit out of control and you're going to make some changes to it, you've got to announce those changes so people know what's coming. And I'm going to take you through a 5-step process that matches up with the word reset so that you can strategically get yourself back on track and include your employees, your vendors, your clients, and your families in the process. Have a great week. And until then, remember, if you're going to do business on your own terms.
This is the podcastfactory.com.